coming in at 3-7, going up against the Packers, who come in at 7-3. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 12 matchup.
Thank you, Larry. It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look live there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Tonight, we wrap up this Thanksgiving weekend with a good one here between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they come in riding high, just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. Now a play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. D. Ford in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
On second down, here's Wentz. He's taken down. Back at his own 7. The 2015 Pro Bowler, Michael Bennett. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Now that's the way to open up a game on defense. Back-to-back sacks. We know that someone's come to play today.
A miserable start here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and very long. On 3rd and long, it's Wentz to the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
This is brought in at the 21. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. One back is Lacey. Rodgers now on first down. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice.
Look at the big man rumble. Touchdown, Packers. Jimmy Graham with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Packers have taken the early lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Still on his feet. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. And back back out onto the field comes the Packers defense. They were able to force the 3-and-out last time, led to the punt, and then led to a touchdown for their crew. So they'll be looking for a little bit more of that, Charles.
Well, I think that they created the spark with the 3-and-out. Gave a little momentum to their offense and said, all right, appreciate it, guys. And they took the ball downfield and stuck it in the end zone.
And that defense wasn't out there long. They'll be trying to keep it short here. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. It's a gain of 15 that time. And it'll be first down, Eagles.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches. And they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Looking for his running back, and he's got him. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play. All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first.
And, Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And once again, they go with Sproles. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
Ordinarily, the responsibility for not letting edge pressure disrupt the play falls on the offensive tackles. Their job, to push that edge pressure so far wide they can't either get to the quarter.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. From the gun on third down, Wentz surveying the field. He's going to loft one, and that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. Nelson Aguilar with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee. And that's at the 25. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out. And decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
On second down, Lacey. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. Tackle made that time by Brandon Graham.
But I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
It goes as a gain of 6, and it's a first down. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Rodgers now on first down. It's caught outright by Graham. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, Not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they? But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now the fourth-year man from Texas A&M, Christine Michael. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. They go to Michael again. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And he's brought down. 16 yards to the 16 and a first down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
In the red zone this time. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. Caught on the right side by Adams. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, Parker. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. First and goal, defense with their backs against the wall. Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
An encroachment penalty here, maybe just a mental lapse, partner.
Sometimes you have to just watch the football. Make sure it's snapped before you're jumping. Still 7.
Offense looks to punch it in here from the 1 on 2nd and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Eddie Lacy, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Packers have taken the lead. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Packer defense getting set to go again. Obviously a close game from the defensive standpoint. Maybe you don't want to blow it too much out of proportion, but how important is this drive?
I think it's huge for them because they've got to find a way to help out their offense, whether it's doing it themselves, taking the ball away and scoring, or setting their offense up in a good position to give them a chance to fully be back in this game.
Well, sometimes that defense triggers the offense. We'll see. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Back to the air on second down. Wentz. And bringing it in, this is Selleck over the middle. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. Wentz going to try and throw on third. And he hits his man, Matthews. Jordan Matthews all by himself. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Matthews, his sixth touchdown of the season. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am, go ahead and tapping out the first half. There's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
Here comes Montgomery now to return it. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in the touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Here's Rodgers to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And now they're in the hurry-up. They go play action here on first down. It gets it over the middle to Cobb. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now whistles here, flag down. I think one of the Packer linemen was moving.
False start, offense.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Rodgers to throw once more. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. So we are at halftime. Yeah, that's perfect. 2, Davis, deep. I gotta go. Okay, and sorry about that. Didn't know Larry got cut off early. We are back and ready for the third quarter. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
And here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Vinny Curry able to get him for a loss of about 3. On second down, here's Rodgers. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, You enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
And that's a good sign right there as we start the third quarter, because in the first half, not much space to run the football. And as we go into the half, we often think to ourselves, all right, what's the adjustment? What do they have to do? You know what a lot of the adjustments are? No adjustments. You know the game plan, been working on it all week. Maybe a little tweak here or there, a little bit better blocking, and now you're establishing the running game.
Rodgers with a give. It's Lacy. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
9 yards on the play and a 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Lacy. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Well, they'll say no to the 46-yard field goal try. They're going to go for it. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Nolan Carroll. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Green 39!
So after the INT, here's Wentz. This complete left side to Aguilar. Fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but they have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks. Those guys are worth their weight in gold.
It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a 1st down. They ran it and picked it up.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. This one brought in by Dorial Green-Beckham. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. They go play action here under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Mike Daniels breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And Matthews over the middle with a grab. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The 6-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews, in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Now a 10th carry here for Lacy. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They come up in an offset eye. Now a first down carry. It's Lacy. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The numbers comparison last week, really good game here. I don't know. He's not hitting the hole as fast as he was a week ago.
Do you get the sense that maybe, his timing's off a little bit?
Yeah.
Because last week, I think you were talking about how quick he was getting to the hole and how fast he was through the hole. And that created some of those big runs because it allowed some of those 2nd and 3rd level blocks from his offensive line. In this game, I feel like the blocking's still there, but he's just not taking advantage of it.
Hitting the home stretch here in a great game, a tie game. Let's see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Caught left side by Cobb. And he's able to get up here to the 26. It'll be a gain of 15 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. Tie game late, and the offense really has to be conscious of the clock here as it's becoming a factor late in this ball game. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game. They'll try and run for it. Here's Lacy. Now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. The Packers go for it. Rodgers. It's caught. Nelson. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
Holding offense.
So there you go. Holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situations, tougher to execute and pick up first downs.
Sproles, the return.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Oh, and you just can't do that. 15 yards on the roughing the kicker call.
Absolutely inexcusable. The kicker's in a defensive position, and he just gets taken out.
One back is Lacy. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. He'll get the football here. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Fresh set of downs here. Now Rodgers will handle Lacey. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Again, it's Lacey. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And he finds Cook. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. They come up in an offset eye. The busy night continues for Lacey. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Rodgers to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And this one is no good. He missed it. And that changes. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And now working their way back onto the field, the Eagles defense. And they got the stop last time, or at least the missed field goal that they were able to force. And in this tie game, that's obviously critical at this juncture.
And it's become apparent that this game may come down to a foot. Someone's foot putting the ball through the post, and as you noted, kept them from doing it the last time out. Can they continue to do so? And hopefully then they can get their own offense cranked up and put the ball in the end zone.
They begin the drive with Lacey. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
And that's exactly what you run on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Benny Logan in there on the tackle.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On 3rd down, it's Michael. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick, and shifty. Can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice gain.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
First throw of overtime for Rodgers. Oh, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Here's a handoff to Sproles to start the drive. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Again, they'll run it. Again, it's Sproles. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
What a tremendous play by the defensive line. Instead of getting too far upfield against the draw, able to hold their spot and make a big play in the backfield.
And now the Packers going to take another timeout. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. What can Wentz do now with his drive? And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Well, they went with a nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Now the Packers get set to go. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored. That's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let a team just drive the ball easily down the field?
Got to be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickeled and dimed down the field.
Now a 20th carry of the game for Lacy. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 3. They'll run a toss play to Michael. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
A gain of 7, and they pick up the first.
Well, partner, they might want to tear up your scouting reports a little bit here because they just built tendency. 3rd down, you don't ordinarily see a toss. They ran it really well and picked up a first down. I love the way the edges were sealed, which allowed him to get to the corner.
And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Well, you never know what you're going to expect when you come to the stadium to call a game. Sometimes you get good ones. Sometimes you get bad ones. Sometimes you get great ones. And that's what we had here. What an on that last big play.
And I think that as we look at it, when you're talking about a great finish, which went along with a game that obviously was dramatic because we did get into overtime, what type of play calls do you have left? What have you not shown, or what have you made an adjustment to what you've worked out all the way through that's going to give you the play we saw to win the game? Because I know everyone's thinking that was something that